Are you up to the Revv G series challenge? Well, I'm asking you because it's my challenge. But we're looking at the G3 today, and my challenge is, can I satisfy my tonal pursuits just using this? Let's find out. Hey there, I'm Dan, the self-proclaimed Lonely Rocker. Thank you so much for joining me today. So yes, today we are looking at the Revv G3, part of the 5th anniversary lineup of the G series of pedals. There's a G4 and a G2. I'm going to be covering those in subsequent videos, but today's focus is the G3. Now, these are remodeled after their latest version of the generator amplifier, and apparently on release they've got some kind of contest, so I'm hoping I can win dinner with Derek. Oh, apparently I don't qualify for the contest because Revv sent me these pedals. Anyways, but yes, if you purchase one of these pedals, at least at the time of this video or the taping of this video, if it's like 5 years in the future, I can't make any guarantees, but there's some kind of contest or whatever, so good incentive perhaps to give these a try. Anyways, my challenge is kind of twofold because I don't use a lot of distortion pedals typically. I like to get gain out of my amplifiers, and being here in the studio in a little more of a controlled environment, I find I get what I need generally through amplifiers. So using a distortion pedal is a little bit foreign to me. And the other thing is, I'm going into the clean channel of this Evo TM50. This is a brilliant hand-wired 50-watt amplifier, but it has a really nice clean channel. And I'm just using it because it's got a great clean channel, and I want minimal influence from this amplifier because I want to create all the tones with this. So this is going to be in front of the amp. The amp is going into the Saint Rock React IR2, and then that goes through my Fractal FM9, which is just acting as an audio interface. So the principal tone is coming from the pedal and nothing else. Anyways, the challenge was, can I get all the tones to satisfy my tonal urges? Well, let's see how that worked out. You know you're probably going to be famous because of this, right? Okay, now get out of here. All right, so first thing I want to say, I'm not feeling myself today. I've been a little under the weather for the last couple of days, so if this is stylistically a little different, don't blame me. Anyways, the G3. So one thing I have to say, and I struggle with this, I almost get into fistfights with people in the comments over this sometimes. To me, pedals, amplifiers, speaker cabinets, these are tools I use to make music. And when I make music, I record them, right? And I'll twist them and I'll turn them, I'll multi-track them. And there's a funny thing that we do when we make music, especially when we record music, is we mix it because we want it to sound good to the listener or the viewer in this case. And a lot of people think, well, you know, you're twisting it, you're not really letting me hear what a particular device sounds like, which I think is ridiculous because, again, these are tools to help me get the sounds that I want to get. Now, I have to say, I'm not one to use a distortion pedal and a clean channel with all the knobs set to noon to try and find all the different tones that I want to get for a particular track. I have different amplifiers of all sorts of pedals, plugins, I got modelers, I got it all here. never would I do that. So I found it a very interesting challenge to see what I could get out of this pedal. Now, this is the 5th anniversary. They've redone the circuits more in line with their latest revision of their generator amplifier, which I don't actually have here in the studio, Revv. I might have to rectify that one of these days. But anyways, so I have to say that was quite the challenge for me, mainly because this is a very gainy pedal. And by gainy, I mean distortion. And even when I had the distortion, or they call it gain, all the way down, it was still giving me a lot of distortion. And I'm not a big distortion pedal guy, by the way. I don't actually use distortion pedals a lot. So it was a really, really fun challenge. So to get around that, I actually bailed on a song that I was going to use for this video, and it's going to apply to one of the other ones because I will be covering the other two pedals in the series. I just backed off on the volume coming into the pedal. I actually reamp here so I can record my DI tracks, and then when I'm playing it back, I twist my dials in context of the music that I'm making to make sure that that tone fits properly in the track. So I found it was like, gain on 0 here, and I was still getting a lot of distortion. So I would really just back off on the level that was coming into the pedal. And I found the pedal very reactive, very amp-like, which, these are distortion pedals, but they call them little amp in a box kind of deal, which is again why I went to this. Has got a nice clean channel on it. And to minimize the influence on the amplifier, again, the volume here, if I really push the volume on this pedal, it would really push this clean channel into distortion, because this Evo amp here does it really, really nicely. So in a lot of cases, you'll notice that the settings, the volume setting I backed off a little bit because I wanted you to hear the distortion coming from the G3 pedal. Now, the other thing that I did is all the cab IRs are consistent through all of the tones. I'm using an Ownhammer V30 something or other, like it matters, but I'm using the exact same cab IR for all of the different tones that you heard in this track. And also, very minimal post-processing, which is something I struggle with, again, because tools, right? We take the tools, we make the sounds, and we want to package it up and deliver it to you so it sounds good. And sometimes if I don't mix the song properly and it doesn't sound good, it does a disservice to the tools that I'm using. So, but I didn't do any extra EQ, just a little high pass and low pass just to sort of fit it in to the mix. So what you're hearing, all the different tones that you heard there, all came from this pedal with minimal influence, as minimal as I can. It just really gave me a lot of tone. So I was really pleasantly surprised about that. If I needed more treble, again, I didn't touch the amp. I went to the pedal. So anyways, just wanted to get that little rant out of the way. But I had a lot of fun using this, and it really opened my mind and my ears a little bit to what's capable of doing with this type of pedal, the distortion pedal. I like high gain tones. I'm not a metal player, so I like to find placement for heavy guitar tones in not such a heavy metal track. So this certainly worked really well. So anyways, why don't we dissect, for you purists out there that really want to hear this by itself, I'm going to dissect a couple of the tones that you heard from that song. The first one is that sort of single note riffy thing near the beginning. Now, what really makes that work is it's double tracked, and I'm purposely detuning when I'm playing it, putting it slightly out of tune. Very little bit of dissonance happening there. But what was really important, because I did experiment with different tones when I first created that riff, is if I get the distortion wrong, it just doesn't sound right. And I like to use the word articulation when basically to say I can really hear what's going on. And I was really able to get that good, smooth distortion, still kind of growly, but it wasn't out of control. And those two layers sort of played off each other. But why don't we hear it? I'll show you the before and after to build up that tone, just to give you an idea how the G3 contributed to that tone. So I'm really happy how that tone turned out. Would love to hear your thoughts about it. That's what the comment section is for. Like it or don't like it, want to hear your thoughts. Always happy to chat about that. All right, so the other tone that I want to talk about, maybe I'll do a third one, I'll see how I feel, is that middle section, that kind of weird chord pattern. Have you ever written chords just because they look cool? I have like a little bit of theory knowledge, like just enough. Sometimes I'll just make chords because they look cool, and I'll just try and move them around until they sound right. So anyways, that was the origin of that chord progression. But I was going for this almost glassy, almost like a sharp distortion sound, just try and say that again, especially when you got a cold. It's impossible. Anyways, the bass is really growling under there, and it's got a bit of movement. And I wanted this very toppy sounding distorted guitar, but almost glass shattering kind of effect. So why don't we break that one down? So a couple of the tones that I'm just going to kind of gloss over were the cleaner tones. This is not a clean pedal. By any stretch, this is not a clean pedal. A few different modes of aggression and lots of gain, lots of distortion. So to get clean, I had to literally just lower the volume coming into the pedal just to back off on that gain. Again, very reactive to that, and the tones were great. So just something to think about if you're getting a pedal like this. Definitely experiment with the levels coming into the pedal. Like I said, very amp-like, right? It's just kind of very responsive to the signal that it is receiving. So the last one I will talk about is the lead. And sometimes I will use a bit of extra gain to create those smooth, nice distorted leads, add a bit of delay, a bit of reverb, just whatever. And the solo in the song, it's not too frenetic, it's got some melody in it, but sometimes that nice distortion mixed with a little delay gives you kind of that creamy effect, and I really like how that turned out. So let's break that one down. So I hope that gives you a little idea what you can do with the Revv G3 pedal. I'm sorry, I can't sit here and just play chords and just, oh, there's a little more distortion. Oh, there's a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. I can't do that. I don't give a shit. I get bored. Okay. So anyways, but I hope I showcased this as a great tool, especially for someone recording. You're a live player. You're going to get good range of tones. I mean, if you know the Revv G3, I mean, it's like a modern classic already. I mean, the G3 considered one of the best distortion pedals out there from what I've heard. And now I've had a chance to try the 5th anniversary version of this, and it's a great distortion pedal. I was up to the challenge. It was certainly up to the challenge, and I'm really happy with the results. And never thought I would record a whole song with just a distortion pedal mainly. Anyways, kudos to Revv. I love what I'm hearing here. I am going to be diving into the other two as well. Going to do a similar kind of challenge. I don't know if we'll bring the mask back or not, but anyways, really enjoyed using this pedal. Sounds great. I'm going to put some information in the description if you are interested in grabbing one of these for yourself. At the very least, try it out at your local store, whatever. I don't think you will be disappointed. Anyways, if you have any thoughts, any questions, any complaints, well, that's what the comment section is for. And if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. And while you're down there, well, I'm going to pop a video. This is the first of the 3, so there might be another Revv video there, but a little into the future, I'll put one of the other videos there as soon as you're ready, but make sure to check that out. And remember, you don't need a band to rock and roll, and I'll catch you in the next one.